My son rewrote our will, and I discovered it 3 days after my husband's funeral. I'm Dorothy Blackwell, 72 years old. For 43 years, I built a life with my husband Richard in Portland, Oregon. We weren't wealthy, but we were comfortable. Richard worked as a civil engineer, and I taught elementary school for 35 years. We raised 2 children, Michael, our eldest, and Sarah. We thought we did everything right. We thought family meant loyalty. I was wrong. 6 months ago, Richard died. Pancreatic cancer. It took him in 4 brutal months. In that final month, Michael showed up every single day. He'd sit by Richard's bedside, hold his hand, whisper things I couldn't hear. I was grateful right up until I realized why he was there every day. He wasn't there for his father. He was there for the paperwork. The funeral was beautiful. Over 200 people came. Colleagues, former students, neighbors. Sarah flew in from Boston with her husband and 2 kids. Michael organized everything, the service, the flowers, even the catering. He kept saying, "Mom, you just rest. I'll handle it all. I'll handle it all. I'll handle it all." I should have known. When someone takes control that completely, they're not being kind, they're being strategic. 3 days after we buried Richard, Michael asked me to meet him at our attorney's office. "Just some paperwork, Mom. Estate stuff. Dad would want us to handle it quickly." Gerald Hartman had been our lawyer for 20 years. He looked uncomfortable when we walked in. His hands were shaking slightly as he opened the folder. "Dorothy," he said quietly, "I need to ask you something directly. Did you and Richard recently update your will?" I blinked. "No, we haven't touched it since 2015. Why?" Gerald's face went pale. He slid a document across his desk. "Because I have a will here, dated 3 weeks before Richard's death, with both your signatures. I received it through the usual channel. Legally, I had to present it, and it includes a clause giving Michael power of attorney over your finances if you show cognitive decline, as determined by a physician chosen by Michael." My heart stopped. That clause terrified me more than anything else in that moment. And that wasn't the only change. The original will divided everything equally between Michael and Sarah. The house, the savings, Richard's pension, my retirement account, everything split fairly. That's what we'd always promised our children. This new version? 70% to Michael, 30% to Sarah. "I never signed this," I whispered. Michael didn't even flinch. He sat beside me, calm like he'd rehearsed it. "Mom, don't you remember? Dad was so worried about you. He said you'd been forgetting things. We talked about it, the 3 of us, in the hospital. You were tired. You probably just don't recall." Lies. Every word was poison wrapped in concern. Gerald cleared his throat. "Dorothy, I need to be frank. This signature looks legitimate. I compared it to previous documents. Either you signed this and forgot, or my son is a forger." I finished. The room went silent. You could hear the air conditioning humming. Michael's jaw tightened, but he kept that caring son mask firmly in place. "Mom, please, you're grieving. You're not thinking clearly. Dad wanted to make sure you were taken care of. That's all this is." But I was thinking clearly. For the first time in months, everything snapped into focus. All those private conversations with Richard. The way Michael insisted on handling Dad's medication schedule. how he'd volunteered to take Richard to every lawyer appointment during those final weeks, always saying, "You rest, Mom. No need for both of us to go." He'd been planning this. While his father was dying, my son was forging documents. I stood up. My legs felt like water, but I stood. "Gerald, I want this investigated. I want a handwriting expert. I want the hospital visitor logs from Richard's final weeks. I want everything examined." Michael's mask finally cracked. "You're going to humiliate this family over paranoia? Dad just died, Mom. He's barely cold, and you're accusing me of—" "I'm accusing you of exactly what you did," I said. My voice didn't shake. It should have, but it didn't. That's when Sarah spoke. She'd been quiet this whole time, sitting in the corner. "Mom," she said softly, "maybe Michael's right. Maybe you just don't remember. You have been stressed." She glanced at Michael. Just for a second, and he gave her the smallest nod. My daughter, my baby girl, she already knew. I hired my own attorney. Cost me $15,000 I didn't really have. Forensic handwriting analysis, document examination, a complete review of Richard's medical records, and the will's creation timeline. 4 months. That's how long it took to prove what my gut already knew. The handwriting expert said it plainly. My signature was forged. Skillfully done. Michael had traced my actual signature from old tax documents, but forged nonetheless. The computer file told a second truth. The document was created 2 days after Richard died. Michael had backdated it. Even the machine couldn't pretend this was real, and the oncologist confirmed what I couldn't bear to hear. In Richard's final week, when he was barely conscious and on heavy morphine, he wasn't mentally competent to sign anything legal, but Michael had him sign multiple blank documents anyway. For insurance, he'd told the nurses, blank pages. A dying man's hand. A son with a plan. My son didn't just steal from me. He used his dying father's hand to do it. I presented everything to Gerald. We filed a lawsuit to invalidate the fraudulent will. Then Michael did the one thing I never imagined a child could do to a parent. He didn't just deny it, he tried to erase me. He filed to have me declared incompetent. Not because I was confused, because I was fighting back. He submitted evidence emails I'd supposedly sent with confused timestamps, accounts from neighbors that I'd seemed disoriented, all fabricated, and still, he put my sanity on trial. For a moment, I wondered if I was losing my grip. Then, I saw his smile in the courtroom hallway. The case took 8 months. During that time, Michael stopped speaking to me entirely. He told extended family I was having a breakdown, that I was making wild accusations because I couldn't handle Dad's death. Half my cousins stopped calling. At church, people smiled, then looked away. People pick sides without ever asking me what happened. My phone went quiet. Sarah stayed silent. Didn't defend me. Didn't defend Michael. Just silent. She'd already made her choice back in Gerald's office. Michael had promised her that 30% told her it was better than the 50-50 split, that he'd take care of the hard stuff, and she could just enjoy her inheritance without responsibility. He'd bought her silence with the illusion of an easier payout. The judge ruled in my favor. The forged will was invalidated. The original 2015 will stood. Michael was ordered to pay my legal fees, $43,000 by the end, plus court-ordered sanctions. For the first time in 8 months, I could breathe. He hasn't paid a cent. 3 months later, he filed for bankruptcy. That's when I learned the truth behind everything. Michael had gambling debts, over $200,000 worth, online poker, sports betting, casino trips he'd hidden for years. That's what this was really about. Not inheritance, desperation. But here's the part that truly breaks me. 2 weeks ago, Sarah called. First time in 7 months. Her voice was careful, measured. "Mom," she said, "Michael's in real trouble. His house is in foreclosure. His wife left him. He's not doing well, Mom." He said he didn't see a way forward. She wanted me to drop the judgment. "He's your son," she said. "Dad would want you to forgive him." I laughed. I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, because the audacity was breathtaking. "Dad would want justice," I told her. "And I'm not the one who broke this family. Michael did that when he chose money over integrity." She hung up. Haven't heard from her since. I'm still in the house. Richard and I bought in 1987. Still sleeping in our bed, still watering the garden he planted. But I eat dinner alone now. Every holiday, every birthday. I have 2 children. Legally, biologically, I'm their mother. But in every way that matters, I'm childless. People ask if I regret pursuing the case, if I wish I'd just let it go, kept the peace, maintained the relationship. I tell them the truth. I regret raising a son who thought so little of me that he'd forge my signature on my husband's deathbed. I regret raising a daughter who valued 30% over her mother's dignity, but fighting back, demanding the truth, refusing to be stolen from. I don't regret that for 1 second, because here's what I learned. Family isn't blood. Family is respect, honesty, loyalty. Michael and Sarah are my blood, but they stopped being my family the moment they chose inheritance over integrity. Sometimes the people who should protect you are the ones who hurt you most, and sometimes the only person you can truly count on is yourself. So I ask you, what would you do? Would you choose truth that costs you family, or peace that rewards betrayal? Comment 1 if you'd fight. Comment 2 if you'd forgive. Tell me why. And I still don't know which choice costs less.